listen to mirror, mirror, the reflection of the law.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my trading journal. I hope everyone is staying safe and doing everything that you need. It's so funny. I feel like the whole time I've done this trading journal on YouTube for you guys has been during this whole lockdown season. So, for 2 years now, and we're saying again, it's likely that we're going to be going into another lockdown. So I hope you guys are staying safe, doing what you need to do, and just taking care of yourselves and your families during this time. It is Monday. It's Monday the 20th of December, so Christmas is nigh. But I spoke very briefly in my last video about the fact that I am writing a book and I'm turning that book into an NFT for you guys. So I kind of wanted to document this whole process for you so that you guys can really be a part of this journey in the same way that I did the merch diaries. This is going to be kind of like the NFT diaries or the book diaries. So I wanted to document my process for you so that if anybody else wanted to create their own NFT, they would have a kind of step-by-step process to see how I did it myself and how, you guys might like to do it or even do a better job. Who knows? So first of all, the reason why it's a book. I've never in my life even considered writing a book. I never thought that that would be something for me or something that I could do until I had 3 very clear signs. And I always say, pay attention to the signs. It pays to pay attention. The first sign was when my mentor, Des, he took me out for lunch. I've been doing quite a bit of education for our trading communities and been doing the YouTube, and he wanted to kind of get to know me a little bit better. So we went for lunch, and after he was asking me questions and getting to know me a bit more, he said, you've got a book in you. And I was like, me? No. And although it kind of got my gears turning, I did kind of shut that idea down because I think I just felt overwhelmed at the fact that maybe, I didn't have enough to write about, or that kind of self-sabotaging belief of who would want to read what I have to say, But then my second clue came around in December. So actually this time last year when we were doing our 5 a.m. club, and one of the girls, she said to me, Jessica, you need to write a book because there are people out there who need to hear the messages that you're saying every single day to us on Zoom, like the teaching that I'm giving. Nothing is scripted, nothing is pre-considered. I just kind of riff and reel on what I've got going on in my heart, and a lot of people tend to find that really very helpful. And when Carrie told me that I should write a book, we then drafted a contract. Where is my contract that I made with her? One second, let me see if I can find it for you guys. I have so many different trading journals. Aha, okay. How funny. Okay, so we wrote up a whole kind of contract in my trading journal about, what I'm going to put in the book, how I'm going to release it, what I'm going to do with all of the profits, all of these things. Maybe I should turn this into an NFT in itself, turn the contract itself that I wrote between me and Carrie, turn that into an NFT, lol. At the top it says, Carrie suggested that over Christmas I write a book. My views, my experiences, the highs and lows, friendships I've made, life in London, relationships, motivation, management, mentorship. To be finished for New Year's Eve. Well, I did not do that in 2020. The aim was to buy a whole Bitcoin with the profits of this book. Well, the price has changed quite a bit since then. And also to buy Carrie an avocado and Courtney a Tesco's meal deal. I signed it at the bottom. I honour this commitment. I did actually start writing. I started writing almost like an autobiographical novel, which became a really fun pastime that I was doing throughout the Christmas period. However, I did kind of end up letting it go purely because I ended up getting booked on so many different jobs after that point. So no, I didn't quite get it finished in time for New Year's, but I do have that whole autobiographical work kind of saved in my archives currently, in preparation for when that time came around. So that was like my kind of second clue where I gave it a bit more consideration. I signed a contract for myself and my friends, and then I actually executed on some of it, which is great. And then I had the third clue come around. So the third clue came around after the new year when I was back doing film work, and a publishing company reached out to me and kind of propositioned me that I write a book and create a campaign for it to get it published physically for retail, which is pretty exciting. And I gave them a whole breakdown of what my book would be. I created a campaign around it and they loved it. And then sadly that whole opportunity kind of fell through because then they very quickly decided, okay, we're not going to take on any more writers during this time. So I was like, okay, so this is now the third sign. It really just became something that I wanted to commit to, but I didn't know how, considering that publishing opportunity was then taken away from me. So I was kind of back to square one in terms of, okay, there's a book in me, but now what? But it was also during this time, it was definitely around February 2021, where I was on Batman like every single day, and pretty much the only thing that got me through was listening to Gary Vee on his podcast, through his YouTube videos every single day, and he kept talking about NFTs, and I was like, I really want to jump onto this bandwagon. I want to create something, but I don't know what. And I'm a really big believer of don't create something unless there's a call to action, unless there is something that is really coming up as a use case in your life in order to create something. So I've had plenty of ideas for NFTs that I want to create, but I just hadn't actioned on any of them purposefully because nothing ever felt like the right time, even though we know that we say there's never a right time. Okay, towards the end of this year, towards the end of 2021, going into 22, I've had some pretty big breakthroughs, not only in my trading, but also off the charts as well. And Carrie and I were talking and we said, maybe there's a reason why the book fell through those previous times. And it's because my journey wasn't finished yet. I hadn't learned what I needed to learn yet in order to share that information. So now is what we're saying is the perfect time to execute on this. So even though it's a year later from when I signed that contract, I'm now fully committing to this journey and publishing my first book as an NFT. And it's going to be a great project because I don't know how to make an NFT. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm pretty much figuring this out by myself. Last night I did a lot of Googling, especially when it comes to creating an NFT that is a book. There are a lot of companies out there who have done articles and podcast episodes and YouTube videos talking about self-publishing and NFTs. None have really, there was only maybe one that I found gave a step-by-step breakdown of how to self-publish your book as an NFT. And even so, the process was still relatively clunky. It wasn't that straightforward. I think that comes down to what the NFT exchanges or kind of minting platforms allow you to share. Because at the moment they're doing a lot of JPEGs, MP4 files. I believe you can do zip files. So I'm going to really be figuring this out along the way. So please believe that a lot of this video or a lot of these videos is going to be me like, what the f***? I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm probably going to waste a lot of money in the meantime as well. Because I'll probably be trying out different things. I think it's very easy to just kind of give out a JPEG and be like, this is tied to the book, which I might end up having to do. I might not have a solution. So we'll just figure this out as we go along. But yeah, I did go down a whole rabbit hole yesterday. There's a lot of information out there, but it's just kind of trying to figure out what's going to be the best process for me and for you guys as well, for anybody who decides to support me, wants to buy the book or who wants to be a part of this NFT journey with me. So for anyone who doesn't understand what an NFT is, I probably will do a whole other video to this. NFT stands for non-fungible token, and you kind of have to think of it like baseball cards or Pokemon cards. They are collectibles items. So people purchase these cards and then they can share them amongst each other. And the really great thing, and this is why this is potentially fantastic for authors, is because there's a really huge kind of culture when it comes to book sharing, book lending, book reselling, but the original author doesn't get any royalties. Technically, they're not entitled to those royalties. However, if you are a writer, you can then get royalties every time your book is shared, which is really, really exciting. And I think just the really exciting part of all of this is that I don't want to be somebody who just shares information on here to you guys and just expects you to do whatever you want with it, I want to be that person that's kind of leading from the front and actually doing these things myself in order to give the best support and advice as I can to everybody who follows me on this platform. So in terms of exchanges, I do currently have a MetaMask already, but I've had to set up a Rarible account and an OpenSea account just so I can figure out how these platforms really work. And I think just by spending time hanging out on these platforms and getting used to their user interfaces, that's going to be a really great way for me to understand understand or, you know, decide which platform is going to be the best for me to mint my NFT. So you can see here, I'm looking at Rarible right now. And it is such a beautiful platform. I think I'm kind of more inclined to use this platform just because it is very visually friendly. I do love platforms that have a great user interface. I'm all about user experience. It's very, very sexy and it provides a lot of information for you. Their blog is really great as well and it provides a lot of information. I just need to know how to mint a book. I just have absolutely no idea how I'm going to get this out to you guys. I don't know what I'm doing. And then of course we have OpenSea, which is another beautiful platform. Very, very simple to use. They kind of look quite similar, but they do have different fees when it comes to minting and things like that. And also they have different like categories that you can browse when it comes to the types of NFT and what you are getting. So you've got like even domain names, that's pretty exciting, and music as well, which I don't believe Rarible had. Utility, I think these are things that are actually have a bit more of a use case. Tree world, you buy an NFT and they plant a tree, showing everyone that the digital NFT world can touch real life. So I think my book would actually come under the utility section, whereby it has a bit more of a use rather than it actually being an artwork, if that makes sense. That's a whole lot more research that I'm going to have to do another time. It's going to be a lot of work. But it's going to be okay because we'll chip away at it one day at a time. But then there are so many other things that I need to think about. And these are questions that I wanted to pitch to you guys. I would really appreciate, I don't know, you guys having some sort of involvement. So it's not just me on my own, but this is a collective thing that we're working on together. Because I know that through the reselling of NFTs that, you know, you guys, the community, are going to bring the price of this NFT up. And I want to be sure that it's not just, you know, my words, but it's actually something that really provides you guys value. Because let's imagine if the resale of this NFT goes up to what, $100 per resale, like I would hope that you guys are receiving $100 worth of value. Does that kind of make sense? So I was thinking about creating more of like a visual PDF workbook that not only has anecdotal stories and memoirs from me, but also has activities that you guys can be doing, you know, in terms of starting your trading journey. So I feel like this could be a really great workbook for people who are part of this community but haven't quite started their trading journey yet, or maybe you are super, super new. Or alternatively, would you guys prefer a complete novel style autobiographical work that is just 600 pages of me spieling about my life, my experiences, the ups and downs and the drama? Let me know what things you would prefer. You know, maybe this is just project 1 and then project 2, I can do a whole other style of writing. The possibilities are endless, but I want to make sure that I'm providing as much value to you guys as possible. I always kind of say, in IM, we always say impact over income. So I want to make sure that I'm providing as much impact and value for you guys as possible. Also, what shall I title this book? I have no idea what I'm even going to call it. I suppose I'll know that once the work is actually finished. But again, these are going to be things that we're going to be figuring out along the way. I don't have all of the answers yet to a lot of questions that I have, but I'm slowly tinkering away, and I will just record little bits and pieces as and when I'm working on this project, especially over the Christmas period. I really love hunkering down and getting my teeth into something during these real like kind of down stages of the year. I think it's a really beautiful cocooning hibernation time to work on stuff, to work on self, and I would just be so excited to have you guys on here as part of this journey. If you're not following me on Trade Creatives on Instagram or TikTok, you know, please do. I hang out on Instagram a lot. I'm always in the stories and always kind of sharing what I'm up to with you guys. It'd be great. Slide into the DMs, send me your questions, put your questions down into the comment section down below so I can kind of answer them as we go along. I'm sure that if there's anybody here who is an artist or a creative or is looking into making NFTs themselves, you'll probably have questions, and I would love to answer them as we go through together on this journey. I know that in the writing industry, they say that writing can be one of the loneliest tasks, but I feel like with the community that we've built and the kind of friendships that I've managed to build with some of you guys here in the YouTube crew, over on the Discord or in my DMs or on Zoom, you know how we do. I think this is going to be a really beautiful communal process, and I can't wait for you guys to witness this journey. When the time comes and I do get this book executed, it doesn't have to go through WH Smith or Waterstones or through middlemen and publishers. It can go straight into your hands, straight into your wallet, and you get to own a little piece of me. And I think it's such a beautiful journey. So that's kind of it for now. As I said, guys, please stay safe. Wash your hands. Only go out if you need to. Stay with your families. Tell your best friend that you love them. eat your favorite food, do an activity that makes your body feel good, do all the things to keep you sane during this time. Have a wonderful Christmas if you celebrate it. If not, have a warm and cozy winter. And I will see you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video or in the next clip if I decide to record anymore. Love you.
Listen to your heart, mirror, mirror the reflection of